When I meet new people, they usually ask me, how the heck am I able to keep making so many videos and to do it year after year? Well, it's time to reveal my secret filmmaking skill that you can copy and start doing right now. Plus, I'm gonna tell you how I get a win out of the biggest travel fail we have ever had.
This wasn't the plan.
It all started with a laptop brand asking us if we wanted to go on an epic road trip and put their laptop to the test, and I suggested Faroe Islands, a place that I've always dreamed of going. It looks insane, and they said yes. So we put together one of the coolest projects ever. My brother was gonna come from Finland with our friend Tommy, and then last second, Peter decided, he's like, I wanna come too, so Peter was gonna come. We had the most epic Airbnb with a sauna and everything and the hikes, and we had so much cool stuff planned. So we headed to the airport, giddy to go on another epic boys road trip. And so the biggest travel fail of my life began. I was not ready for this one. But it was time to meet up with the boys and pack up the last of my gear. I bring a lot on epic trips like this.
Gonna light it up. Good thing you got a big bag to fit all that stuff in. Yeah, big bags.
I have learned to make videos every single week consistently for years using this 3-point structure. Number 1, have a game plan. 2, improvise. And number 3, edit on the fly. And this trip was a perfect example of this.
Let's rock and roll. I gave Tyler all the drones. Of course he gets pulled for extra. I somehow got through clean. When does that ever happen? You guys know, you go through the airport, every single camera bag, every single thing gets scanned. This time, nothing. Except for Tyler.
The game plan can be many different things. Sometimes it's a full script, sometimes it's just a few bullet points, and sometimes it's just an idea. And in this case, I just had the idea. Well, I guess a little bit more. I wanted to make like a 3-part kind of series from Faroe Islands. 3 different vlogs that fit together in a cohesive story, but also you could just watch one of them and be entertained and learn something or get something out of it. Day 1, part 1 of the series was just gonna be banger hunting with Peter in the Faroe Islands. I think we would have all watched that video, because that's really what me and Peter do. We go on these epic trips and we are just trying to get the coolest photos and videos, just capture the things that are happening in the coolest way possible and have as much fun as possible.
And then you made me bring this. I blame you for this.
Of course, I want to see you editing photos on this trip.
I know, that's my problem. I take a bunch of photos, I'm stoked on them, and then I wait, or I get them developed, and then, you know, it's like weeks later, then I start thinking about posting. I only post one, then it doesn't match the grid, then I post nothing. Fast forward 2 months. A few photos to post that don't match. I'm right back here.
So how about that Sora?
You got it the worst.
They like tore the bag, like they had to run it back 3 times.
Tyler took a hit for the team.
They were so fed up with Tyler's, by the time they got to mine, they were like, forget it, just do the swab, we're not doing this again.
And the point of the game plan is to get you going. If you don't have a game plan, it just feels stupid to start filming. Like, why am I doing this? But when you have a game plan, it's kind of like a compass, some sort of direction, and also just permission to start filming anything and everything that you want. And because I had this game plan, I started filming right away. As soon as we hit the airport, I started capturing everything that I thought was useful to this story. But it doesn't matter how good your game plan is, things don't always work out. So in this case, we flew to Iceland. We had a couple hours of sleep on the plane, and then we're having breakfast at the airport in Iceland. We were supposed to connect from Iceland to Faroe Islands, and we had like 4 hours to kill. And as we're sitting there eating breakfast, we hear this announcement of the flight from Iceland to Faroe has been canceled. Sure enough, we check. That is our flight. The weather is insane. It's like 60 to 90, 100 kilometer per hour winds and just tons of rain.
Terrible news. There's no longer a Joe in the juice here.
Who's Joe?
And this is where number 2, improv, comes in. The game plan gives you permission to start going, and improv is the permission to film things as they happen. There's no way that you can plan out everything. That's one of the reasons why I love vlogging, is things just happen when you give yourself the opportunity to tell what's happening. You can't script that, oh, Peter's gonna say this thing and then I'm gonna reply to it and then Tyler's gonna say this. You cannot plan all that stuff out, and that's why you need to give yourself the room to just improv and see what happens. And because you have this permission to improv, you're constantly figuring out, is this part of the story? Should I be filming this, or is this completely useless? And so we go to the Iceland Air customer service desk, and it's not the news that we wanted.
We don't have a scheduled flight for tomorrow, but they have put up some rescue flights.
We're supposed to fly home on Thursday from Faroe Islands.
Okay.
So
So if it's not a tomorrow flight,
then
At least wait for the rebooking, but hopefully tomorrow. I'll cross my fingers.
There are no flights until the next day at 1 p.m. We would arrive at Faroe Islands at about 4 p.m., which at first seems like, oh, okay, no big deal. We'll just spend a night in Iceland and we'll keep going. Except the way that me and Peter usually like to travel is kind of strike mission style. And so we only had 3 days total in the Faroe Islands. We were supposed to arrive there in the morning, and then we'd have that day and then 2 extra days. This means that we would miss day number 1 for sure, and then we would get there with like maybe an hour or 2 of sunlight on the second day. So basically we missed 2 days and we only have 1 day. Plus it's supposed to continue to be insane weather and lots of rain. What the heck do we do now?
That's problematic.
one day we should still do Faroe Islands.
I would still love to go. That's not good. Flight canceled due to weather, and they're not sure if we're gonna go tomorrow or when. Not a good start.
Things will happen that are out of your control. Things will go wrong, but that doesn't mean that you should go home empty-handed creatively in terms of having a video. The game plan gets you going, and improv guarantees that you'll capture a story or get a video. So they ship us to a nearby hotel and kind of like figure out like, oh, we're gonna put you in this hotel for the night. And we're sitting there at the hotel having breakfast, barely slept last night, and we're trying to figure out, what do we do now? And remember, my brother and Tommi are supposed to come from Finland, so they're in Denmark. They were supposed to connect through there to Faroe Islands. Their flight also got canceled. So we're thinking like, do we stay in Iceland and get my brother and Tommi to fly to Iceland? But we didn't have anything planned. We'd have to plan everything. And we had just had an epic trip a few years earlier with Epidemic Sound in Iceland. It was just insane. Do we risk it and just YOLO go to Faroe Islands anyways and hopefully we get 1 good day of filming? Or do we take the third option?
Well, we're officially going into Iceland now, even though we weren't supposed to. We're just supposed to connect. Let's see what happens.
The third thing that I'm doing goes very much hand in hand with the improv, and that is editing on the fly. This is a skill that you get in the documentary world. I think every documentary filmmaker is editing on the fly. And what I mean by this is you're constantly in your brain, essentially already editing the video that you're filming right now. It's the skill of knowing when to film, what to film, when to put down your camera and take a breather. Does it fit your game plan? Does it fit your new game plan? If I have the game plan of banger hunting with Peter in the Faroe Islands, as I pull out my camera, I'm thinking, does this fit this game plan? Okay, I should film some stuff at the airport, going through the airport security, getting on the airplane, connecting in Iceland, all the pieces of the story that kind of help tell us going on this journey and getting to the destination. I'm giving myself room to improv, and then the game plan fails and we have a new game plan. Now I've scrapped the last edit and I'm editing this new video of the super failed trip potentially.
Yeah, no.
Are you sure?
No.
It's 30 degrees right now in Toronto.
What parts fit this new storyline? Even if I knew 100% we won't make it to Faroe Islands, I don't have to stop. I can just think and re-edit in my brain what this new storyline might be.
This wasn't the plan.
I only have 3 rooms here, so most of you will have to stay in another place nearby. But we still have to wait.
The third option is the most ridiculous one, where we grab our bags, grab a taxi, head back to the airport, and hop on the first plane back to Toronto.
Called the taxi, headed back to the airport, change our flights, fly back to Toronto.
This is the most random thing ever.
And that's the one that we choose, of course. Oftentimes, the most interesting stories aren't the ones that you plan from start to finish. They're the ones where you had a game plan and you gave yourself room to improv and find an even better storyline, especially when things don't go wrong. And then you're editing on the fly to make sure that you've captured enough stuff to tell the story. Now, little cheat code here. If you did not do a good job at capturing enough of the story, you can always use things like voiceover to fill in the details. You could do a reenactment. You can do so many different things. Filmmaking is just problem solving. I know there's a lot of artistic stuff that happens, sure. For me, it's mostly problem solving of like, here is the story I want to tell. What is the best way to tell this story? This probably doesn't sound like rocket science to you, but I almost guarantee you that most of you aren't doing this. People just think that when YouTubers vlog, for example, vlogging is a great example, they're just filming things as they happen. They just like capture life. And that's not usually what's happening. Usually people have a game plan. They've thought of an idea. They have a direction. And then they give themselves room to improvise and kind of go with the flow. And as things are happening, you're capturing that and like, oh, we don't need this. Oh, let's go over there. And you're editing on the fly, making the video as it goes. So you know, oh, I need that one shot. I need the shot of me talking to customer service to get this pivotal moment of the fail happening to tell the story. I mean, potentially it was me still getting to the Faroe Islands, but I didn't fully know yet which way we were going. But with this method, you guarantee yourself a video. You're not at the mercy of everything going right so you get the video. Actually, a lot of times, I always say this with YouTube world, and I think it applies to pretty much everything in filmmaking, is when things go right, great. When things go bad, maybe even better. It might make the story even more interesting. So I think a lot of the best YouTubers out there, for example, like Matt Armstrong, I can see it in his face when like he finds some like new problem with his car that he's trying to fix. He's kind of like, oh, it's gonna be so much work. But at the same time, the YouTuber in him is like, sick. I have more conflict. This is great for the video. And he kind of leans into it because he knows that in the end, he does benefit from that kind of conflict and things going wrong. So we looked up the first plane back to Toronto, asked them to book that for us, and we headed back home.
See you later, Iceland.
Defeated, yes. Massively disappointed that I didn't get to see the Faroe Islands, yes. But I didn't come home empty-handed. I still got a video because I started filming. I had a game plan, I improv. I was editing on the fly. And that is how I am able to make videos week in, week out. I've made almost 800, like 793 videos now or something, over 100 million views. I would not have that if I didn't follow this like very, very simple 3-point game plan, whatever you want to call it. And I would attribute this to being one of the biggest reasons why I've gotten pretty good at this whole YouTube thing and filmmaking in general and storytelling, is that I do this week in, week out. I guarantee you, anybody who does this sort of thing week in, week out, you will get so much better at your craft. It's also my theory why YouTubers are some of the best storytellers in the world right now, because they are learn, make, repeat. They're doing this all the time, whereas like Hollywood filmmakers, they're making one big project every couple years, for example. We can debate who are the best storytellers, YouTubers or Hollywood filmmakers or who, but I can guarantee you, if you make videos week in, week out, and you don't give yourself the excuse or the ability to just quit halfway through, you will get way better at storytelling. And you might be surprised and come out of it with a YouTube career in filmmaking. Whatever my job is, I never thought this would happen to me, but it's just these like little one step at a time, keeping it going one video at a time. And yeah, this is my secret for how I've been able to keep doing this for so long, and I will keep doing it for hopefully a lot longer. Am I gonna be like 50 and still making YouTube videos? I don't know, but yeah, this was the biggest fail of a trip we have ever had. I still can't believe we flew all the way to Iceland to have pizza and then flew back. All right, hope you learned something. Bye. What a fail.